So, welcome back to the Transnation Formula One World Championship. Sorry, it's early in the morning and I'm still waking up. My apologies. We're here for the Canadian Grand Prix. I think we have around 12 drivers this morning on the grid. One of them not being here is Albert, who is leading the championship due to internet issues, I'm pretty sure. So it's a shame for him, but hopefully we will see him next weekend with better internet. Here for Canada after a very, very entertaining Monaco Grand Prix last weekend. We saw Albert take the win by over 40 seconds, I think, and then it was Oliver, and then who else was it? And then it was Ray Demas who rounded off the rest of the podium for that race, and we saw Robin, who didn't have a very good race, who retired around lap 16 or 17 through that race. So he's lost a big chunk in that championship lead or championship hunt too well. But I'll tell you the gap right now. Hold on, let me just bring this up. I'm not going to look at the standings on the Discord chat because Mackenzie's done them wrong. So I'm just going to check on the app real quick. So Albert leads the championship by 38 points over Robin. I'm pretty sure, yep, I've got the engine glitch, not the engine glitch, the game glitch where it doesn't let me listen to the freaking, the cars, so I will sort that out. We'll just wait for an invite. The two Ferraris are at the moment, even though you can't hear the two Ferraris, they're out here. Canada being one of those power needed tracks with the long back straight and various other straights, having 3 DRS straights, one on sector 3, one in sector 1 and one on sector 2. Need to invite, and then I'll leave and join back real quick. So Oliver will be starting his first flying lap on the mediums. Now there is two strategies you can do. You can either do the mediums to hards, which is the one-stop strategy, or you can do the softs to mediums, which is a two-stop. So I'm pretty sure they're evenly matched in time for the race, so it'll just be deciding which tyre you would like to or prefer to run for the race. Can someone just freaking invite me? He does a 1 minute 9.4, but Bray does a 1:8.6. I need someone to freaking send me an invite so I can just join back. This game is so buggy with everything, it's just... How are these guys not getting my attention? There we go. Good mana, Merrill. Alright, we'll just leave this real quick. Wow. Hold on. Can't use that now. Hold on. What is this lobby music? What the? Come on, guys. You know you can hear me. Thank you, Brad. Something you actually did for me for once. So let's see if it works this time. There we go. Right, we're back in business. Right, so, since I've been gone, 2 Williams are out front, both on the soft compound, so they'll be committing to the 2-stop strategy unless they want to stretch out those softs, which will be very difficult. Rady in P3, who's done it on the softs as well, and 9 flat. Oliver in P4. H Flash, who is a new driver in the Haas. He's done his time on the medium compound. Mark in the Alfa Romeo, he's done a 10.3. Matthew and Ludwig both on the hard compound, doing laps, looks like. Only drivers haven't seen a lap time. Oh, March is out of the session. Amiro hasn't seen a lap. The other Alfa Romeo hasn't seen a lap, and Robin is actually just starting a lap as we speak. So after Monaco, you really need to get a race victory after what happened in Monaco, because his championship rival Albert is not here at the moment, so he's going to miss this race. So he will need to score some big points out of this if he wants to come back in the championship fight with Albert. So Canada isn't one of those long tracks. It's quite short, having the sort of same amount of lap time as Monaco. So excuse me. It's basically made up of multiple chicanes. There's it's a chicane like turn 1 and 2. There's a chicane 2 and 3 and 4. There's a chicane 4 and 5. And then there's a chicane 6 and 7. and there's a hairpin at turn 8. Turn 9 and 10 is a chicane. So yeah, there's a lot of chicanes in at this track. So Robin goes P5 with a 9.8. Only puts in P5, but I'm not entirely sure if that was a good or representative time for what he's able to do. Oliver goes P2 with a 8.8 on the soft compound. No one though is able to get within that 8.6 of which is set by Brad in the Williams. Speaking of Williams, Owen is coming out of the pits and he is about to do another flying lap. We've got 8 minutes to go in the session. The two Williams looking quite strong here so far through qualifying. We've seen that them proceed pretty dominant in Australia in the first race of the season. Both running 1 and 2 for qualifying and 1 and 2 for the race until some incidents happened, which completely threw that out of the book. So we've had, I think we've had a couple other chances of the Williams being able to being able to get another 1-2 finish. Definitely the top team as we speak. I think that, and then it'll probably be them and McLaren after that. So Owen on a flying lap, he's in the second DRS straight of the track. He comes up to this, probably one of the most difficult corners on the track. It's just quite, it's mostly difficult to get the car positioned in the right angle to get the good trajectory out of the corner. Goes to the hairpin, he's going to come and flick over the DRS for the third DRS straight of the lap. And probably one of the most crucial corners on the track, which is the World Champions chicane. Calling the World Champions because of Michael Schumacher crashing into that very wall. I'm not sure what year it was, but ever since then they've called it the World of Champions. As he goes P2 with an 8.6, only 3 milliseconds of his teammate. So he's looking quite competitive there with Brad. But we have Oliver who's on a flying lap. Coming through this middle sector now opens the DRS for the second part of the lap. As we have 8 flashes on the medium still, so he's in the Haas. I might just see, because Mark Bradby has turned up late for F3, because I've just seen him come on the line. We'll see if he want to commentate with us. So we still don't have Emeril and the other Alfa Romeo. You always hear me saying the other Alfa Romeo because I actually don't know this guy's name. I'm sorry if you're watching, but I don't know your name and you need to tell me. Emeril is just a lap, but it looks like he's on a flying lap now. Coming down the back straight. Coming into the World Championship chicane. Yeah. Just nearly scrapes that wall, but pretty good through there. Comes across the line to a 9.7, which puts him ahead of his teammate in P5, or puts him up into P5 ahead of his teammate. Who's that start off? We have oh, who was that? Oh yeah, that was Matthew who was that's done a flying lap. So he's done his lap on the mediums, so he'll be starting on the mediums, down in P9 unless Mark and Ludwig can improve on their lap time. So he's gonna park it up. Oh, that is a breach of the rules from the Alfa Romeo corner cutting through qualifying to gain time. We'll have to have a look at that, because that is definitely not allowed, and we've made it pretty clear to everyone that's not allowed through qualifying. So we'll definitely have a look at that. See, like I said, we made it a rule end of season 2, beginning of season 3, that you weren't allowed a corner cut during qualifying to gain time to get back to the pits, and that is what he has done. So we'll have a look at that. As the two Williams coming out with Oliver not far behind them. Let's see who can go for pole position. We've got Brad on provisional pole, only 3 milliseconds ahead of his teammate at the moment. So far, Rady, who's actually, since he's joined the league, he's shown a pretty decent amount of performance. First race, getting a podium, and he's got a couple more podiums last week, and he got a P3 at Monaco. And I think he's got another podium somewhere else. So he's showing quite a nice amount of form here since he's joined. As we see Brad, who's about to start a flying lap, and his final flying lap of the session, to see if he as Owen taps a little bit of wall there on the Wall of Champions. Yeah, but we'll have to see if Owen can pip his teammate for pole position here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Rady's actually quite close to Owen there. Owen's actually backed out of his lap. He's probably invalidated. So that is him at a pole position, unless he wants to go out for another outlap and then set another lap time, or set a lap time on these tyres. No, I think he's just going to park it. No. So Rady has got clean air now. So that's good for him. Brad is coming up to the hairpin now. There's a yellow flag, sector 2. That'll be him letting people pass, I reckon. Yep, that is the case. So Brad comes to flick open the DRS on the back straight, having the long run coming up to the Wall of Champions chicane. Takes it quite nicely. Let's see if he can improve on his lap time. He does a 1 minute 8.4, so that puts him 2/10 clear of his teammate. And he's pulling into the pit, so Owen won't be going for pole today. Rady stays P3, Oliver stays P4. Robin retired from the session, so he's going to start P8, behind a driver on the mediums. So we have the other Alfa Romeo on the flyer. We'll have to see if he can improve on his lap and get him, or at least up into P4. Are we seeing a tow here? No, we're not. Are we? I think the two Alfa Romeos might be giving each other a little bit of a tow. I don't know if that's planned, or as he comes through the World Champion chicane. The DRS is open. It is a 9.2, improves by 3/10 of a second, but it is not enough to put him ahead of Oliver. And he just completely cuts the corner. We won't do anything about that, because it basically is the end of qualifying. Ludwig is on a flyer. He's currently sitting last on the timesheets, but he is on the medium tyre. The two Alfa Romeos look like they've been getting into a bit of a scrap, and one of them has gotten a 5-player grid penalty, so one of them will be starting P10. So would have started P5, but now starts P10 because of that grid penalty. That'll push. Who is behind? That'll push Ludwig up into P5. Who'll stay on the mediums. So there is your qualifying results, and Mark actually gets a 5-place grid penalty as well. So he'll start completely last. Alfa Romeo starting P10 and P12 on the grid. So that is the qualifying done for this Canadian Grand Prix. The two Williams locking out the front row of the grid. We've seen it. It's not the first time we've seen this. Seen it in Australia. I think we've seen it in another race. Not entirely sure what the race is. So it is driver the race. Perfect sunny conditions here in Montreal. As I'll just wait for them to load their setups, strategies, things like that. But yeah, we've seen Robin didn't have the greatest qualifying. We'll start P8. Oh, actually, yeah, no, we'll start P7 actually because of the grid penalty from the Alfa Romeo. Needs to score a good amount of points here if he wants to come back in this championship fight. Having Albert not here this weekend, so he'll need to set up his game to score a good chunk of points. As we come in for the formation lap. So through the starting grid, we have on pole position, we have Bradley Betts in the Williams, and then followed him in P2 in the other Williams we have Owen Bennett. P3 we have Rady Muss in the Red Bull Racing car, and then we have Oliver Coleman in the Ferrari. P5 we have Ludwig in the Toro Rosso. P6 we have Merrill out-qualifying his teammate for the first time this season, I'm pretty sure. So that would be good for him. H-Flash starting on the medium compound in the Haas, a new driver this weekend, starts P7. Robin Kraft will start P8 in the McLaren. Needs to score some good points there to get back in the championship hunt. P9 we have Matthew in the Red Bull. P10 we have the Alfa Romeo with a 5-place grid penalty. March P11, and then rounding off the grid we have Mark and the other Alfa Romeo who got a 5-place grid penalty as well with a collision with his teammate. So Brad really bunching up the grid here for the end of the formation lap, but we'll wait for them to come back to the grid for the 5 lights as the game is taking control of their car now, as you can tell. You see all of them just flying through the last chicane, as the two Williams will line up 1 and 2 here for the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see if they can repeat what they did in Australia, but get this 1-2 for Williams. As we wait for the 5 red lights, we'll get on board with Owen. We build up to the 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. Brad has gotten off to a good start. Rady's gotten to an excellent start. He's pipped Owen on the line. Owen's trying to go around the outside of Rady. He's got the inside line for turn 2. Brad leads. They're going side by side into turn 3. Owen has the inside line. He gets ahead of the Red Bull. Oliver tightly behind him. He might have a little bit of a look here. Ameril has gotten past Ludwig with P5. Other than that, March has dropped down to the last. One of the Alfa Romeos put them on the line. H-Flash has dropped down a little bit. Matthews dropped down a tiny bit. Robin has stayed where he started. Ameril up into P5 on the back here of Oliver. Ludwig could be looking quite nice here if he can just stay in this position, because he will be on the 1 stop. Everyone else will be on the 2 stop, except for Matthew, H-Flash and March. So no debris or any incidents so far, or what I've seen. Brad leads. Oh, we've seen a bit of an end plate from, looks like one of the Red Bull, no, one of the Toro Rossos missing an in-play there a little bit. Might have been Ludwig actually. Someone's in-play went flying off. I'm just not sure who it was. It looked like a blue in-plate, so I'm just checking all the... Can't see anything from what I've seen, but yeah, these top four actually starting to bunch up a little bit. Merle is getting harassed here by Ludwig, and speaking of that, Robin is harassing Ludwig there as well. So these soft runners will definitely have a good amount of pace in these opening few laps, but you'll start to see them fall off a bit, and you'll see Ludwig start to make up some time on the medium compound. So I think the pit stop window for softs is around laps 8 to lap 9 if you want to go to mediums. So with the two Williams there really matching in pace, Rady very tightly with them as well. Rady's just the quickest lap of the race. So he is harassing these two Williams. Really the only one this weekend that we've seen to really have the amount of pace that is matching these guys. Other than the Williams both having a good amount of pace equally. Rady really having the only other man to have the pace to match these two Williams at the moment. But Oliver is only 0.8 of a second behind. But we could see him come back. He will still have DRS. Merrill is out of DRS. He's battling with Ludwig. Ludwig trying to go around the outside into the hairpin. Merrill breaks a bit later, gets ahead of him, and Merrill's actually the one who was missing the end plate. So Robin's trying to get into this as well, going side by side down the back straight. Robin's going to have the slipstream of his teammate. Could we see it 3 wide here into the chicane? No, we're not. Merrill completely backs out of that. Lets his teammate past, and lets Ludwig past. Hopefully, he's probably hoping for his teammate to make up some positions, so he can score some good points. But yeah, the two Williams and the Red Bull really showing a good amount of pace, or good evenly amount of pace with each other. As I say that, Rady's actually closer to what Owen is to Brad. Still has DRS, obviously. Oliver is actually sort of creeping his way back up towards these guys, so he's not completely fallen off compared to what the other rest of the field have. 2.9 seconds separate the top 4 from the rest of the field. But it's good to see no one having damage so far through the race. The whole field nicely compact together, unlike other races where we've seen them distributed out throughout the circuit, which has not been the best thing. So we can see some more racing this weekend, hopefully. But yeah, these top Brad still leads from Owen, from Rady, from Oliver, from Ludwig, Robin, Merrill, the Alfa Romeo, Matthew, H Flash, March, and Mark. So H Flash hasn't had the best of starts. He's down on P10. Robin is will be looking for a move here on Ludwig, but he'll need to be doing it quite soon, because those tyres will start to fall off if he's not careful, and those meetings will start to come into life they'll start to be better than softs around. I'd say around now they'd start to be coming into life, rather than the softs being the best tyre to be on right now, or not that, and then a couple of laps at least. He still has DRS. I was to say he wasn't activating for a second, but as I say that he activates it. yeah, that's really, so we've got the top 4, we've got 5 and 6, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11. I'd say 11 and 12. The battle groups. Rady gets a 3-second time penalty. First man to receive the time penalty of the race. So not doing too bad here. Owen is stretching his legs out a bit here. If he's not careful, he'll lose DRS to his teammate, because it is just lingering on the second mark. Or just close to a second. As I say that, goes to a second as he goes across the DRS line. So we haven't seen a Canada race for a while actually, season 2 actually. Yours truly taking out the last F2 race here at Canada. My first race win here in the Transnation Formula 1. It was a wet race. I was under pressure from multiple drivers, one of them being Sebastian Spicer. But I managed to win the race with around a 10-second gap. I'm pretty sure. So, first race win of this TNF1. One of the good highlights there for me with my career. But we will crown a new winner here for Canada. The 2 Williams still looking in pretty decent shape. On lap 7, but you can see Owen's a bit cautious here from the Red Bull. He's going a little bit defensive coming into the chicane. Oh, as he pulls into the pits, the 2, 3, 4 pull into the pits. Owen, Rady and Oliver pull into the pits. This could be looking a little bit dangerous here for Brad, going for the undercut here. So Owen will be, he'll be going onto the medium compound, so he'll be trying the undercut on his teammate. Comes out just ahead of Rady, who was also chucked on the mediums. So Owen comes out in P7, and Rady and Oliver come out P8 and P9. So we see the majority of the field now on the mediums, and we'll have to wait and see if Brad reacts to this. I'm pretty sure he will. Doesn't look like he's going for the overcut, because he is saving ERS. Yeah, so that gap from the lead to, well, what was then P5 was 6 seconds, as the Alpha Romeo gets a 3-second time penalty. So we'll expect to see Brad blink here now. Yeah, so Brad is coming into the pits, so we'll expect him to chuck on the medium compound. Seeing Brad last weekend, we saw him in a pretty good position for the race win, but a multiple mistake. Oh, he's actually going to the hards. So Brad thinks he can stretch his legs out to the end. That is a very, very bold move there from the Williams driver. Speaking of that, Owen pips him, as Rady actually pips Owen while I was talking about Brad. So Rady's in the effective lead of the race, because the top 4 haven't actually pitted yet. So the Red Bull driver really showing his pace, showing these Williams drivers, no, you're not having this race win. And you can see he's just trying everything he can to just keep him behind. So that'll be a very, very bold move there from Brad. We have Oliver right in the back of him, so he's gonna stretch his tyres out freaking a decent amount of laps, like 26 laps on the hards. Oh, as we see Oliver trying to have a move there, gets a little bit touch and go there with his gearbox. Oh, Brad gets a bit shaky on the exit of the World Champion chicane, and that actually lets Oliver past. So Brad's an effective P4 now. If I was Brad, I would have gone onto the mediums, because these guys will have a massive pace advantage compared to him now. As Rady is trying to fight March to get back. Oh, this could play. I was going to say this could play very nicely into his hands, but March has let Owen past. He's coming up to his teammate, so maybe the teammate of Matthew will hold up Owen if he lets his teammate past. You see the brakes glowing red hot there, coming into the hairpin. Yeah, he does let his teammate pass, or he's going to let his teammate pass. He's not going to defend the position. It'll just be a matter of fact if he holds up Owen. Yeah, it looks like. Oh, that was pretty touch and go there. March has made a little bit of a mistake coming out of the chicane. His teammate's right on the back of him, looking to take that P6. Obviously, he hasn't pitted yet, as he's going to let him do that. So we'll definitely see Brad fall off the pace here when these mediums are in fresh condition. It'll just be the. Oh, as we see, H-Flash has spun. Or watch, be careful coming back onto the track, H. Come on, man. So, he has had a spin on 10-lap old medium compound tyres. But he's recovered and he's back racing again. Oh, as we see, March has had looks like he's had a mistake. He's gone straight on at that second to last chicane. Merrill. Oh, that's alright. Merrill would have had a wing change. But Ludwig still leads over Rady and Owen. As H-Flash gets a 5-second stop go for speeding in pit lane. So he's going to get a front wing change actually. So he's going to chuck on the softs. Hopefully going for fastest lap of the race. But you can just see how much the fresh mediums can deliver. You can see gap from around 3 seconds down to 1.7 in just less than a lap. Rady's pulled out a massive 2.6 seconds here on Owen. So Rady looking quite nice here. You can definitely tell he's trying to show his pay, or definitely trying to pull out that gap, because he's on 4% ERS coming into the last corner. Now getting back onto the other Red Bull, or the Toro Rosso actually. Basically a Red Bull, if you think about it. But will Ludwig hold him up? That's a question. It looks like he is holding him up, as he's itching to get past. Trying to go on the outside. Oh, that was very bold there from the Red Bull driver. Nearly pushed Ludwig into a spin. But he manages to get past the Toro Rosso. We'll just wait and see if Owen can do the same thing. But yeah, we've seen Brad, who's really fallen off here, who's trying to get past Matthew, who's on 12-lap old mediums. He's got DRS. Yeah, he'll easily make that move done. Already pulls in front of him before the braking point. So that's him up on the P5. Obviously effective P4 because Ludwig hasn't pitted yet. Actually, as I say that, Ludwig is pitting right now as we speak. He's getting a wing change. Actually, you can see that end plate was missing. So he's going to the end. No more pit stops for him. Robin not showing a huge amount of pace here as they come on lap 14. He's down into P6. Or effective P5 because of Matthew hasn't pitted yet. But he's not too far, 1.3 seconds off him. So that will not be ideal for him. Brad, you can definitely tell he's trying to conserve these tyres. He's got 92% ERS. Definitely saving that all that ERS for an attack maybe. Or just conserving his tyres as he's trying to take them to the end. Pitting on lap 9. Canada is one of those tracks where it is quite easy to corner cut with all the chicanes on the track. So yeah. So Rady has got a 2-second gap to Owen. And we've got a yellow flag, sector 2. I'm not sure what that was. But Owen's definitely not showing he's falling off. Looks like Rady has got quite a good amount of straight line speed in that Red Bull. March pits, Matthew is pitting, comes out P10 ahead of H-Flash and March. So could we see Rady get his first race win of the TNF1 eSports? So still 2.2 seconds, the gap. Brad 3.8 seconds behind Oliver, who was 3.1 seconds behind Owen on the hards. So we'll have to wait and see if the 2-stop or the 1-stop is quicker. So don't forget about Oliver Reaver. We have seen him in the past flip races around. So 3.2 seconds behind Owen. Don't put him out the picture. He's definitely capable of doing the unthinkable. So there's not much battling going on at the moment. The only closest battle we have is Rady and Owen. Yeah, that is the closest gap we have at the moment. So that gap is still sitting around 2.2 seconds. So everyone on the hard and medium, except for H-Flashes on the softs, who didn't end up managing fitting the fastest lap. As the Alfa Romeo gets a 3-second time penalty. So if you are watching this and you're not part of the league, feel free to join. Because I do need a new I do need a commentating partner. Because Mackenzie dipped on me. Says that a night out drinking on a Saturday night is better than commentating with me in the morning. So everyone knows Mackenzie. He does things like that. Now Mark, the other Alfa Romeo, gets 3 seconds time penalty. As we see, Rady has actually extended that gap out. Excuse me. He's extending that gap out. By another few tenths of a second. I'm just reading that YouTube chat. If you're gonna say that to me, you're not even gonna I'm not gonna sit and commentating with you. So you're out of the picture, mate. So Oliver's falling off a bit here to Owen. Lost around a second so far through these past couple laps, or these past few laps. Cameron, don't be a dick. You know I don't like you, right? So considering Brad is on the hard 12 laps, he's only 2.8 behind Oliver. So this could play into his hands if he just keeps a consistent pace, because the top three will need to pit again. Brad doesn't need to pit again unless he can stretch out, or unless he can't stretch out these tyres. So Rady pits, chucks on another fresh set of medium, sorry. Comes out. We'll have to see where he comes out, because Brad is going to the end. He comes out 12.5 seconds behind Brad, 15 seconds actually, 13.9 behind Brad. So he'll need to really push now if he wants to get this race win. I think he does have a time penalty or a couple of time penalties, but I'm not entirely sure how many or how much. So that is the gap. Would expect Oliver and Owen to blink as they come down the back straight. No, Owen's actually staying out. So this will be a good undercut opportunity here. Yes, so Oliver's going to try to go for the undercut. So that's Brad up into P2. Only 6.3 seconds behind his teammate. Would expect him to blink, since Oliver is going for the undercut attempt on Owen. So I've actually just read in the chat for the stream, Robin has actually forgotten to load a setup, so he's running default, so that's probably why he's not got too much pace. Brad gets a 3 seconds time penalty. Owen's staying out. So he'll be looking to have fresher tyres towards the end of the race. March gets a 3 second. We have around 11 laps to go here of the Canadian Grand Prix. Yeah, as you see, Owen pulls into the pits now. Expecting to be mediums, now he's going to chuck on softs. So now we know why he's saying at those extra few laps. Rady jumps him and sets the fastest lap of the race. Oliver sets the fastest lap of the race. Brad has an 8.7 second gap compared to what it was around a 13 second gap when he came out of the pits, or when Rady came out of the pits. But Owen will have those fresh softs and will be looking to go to the end. As Owen gets a 3 second time penalty, Oliver gets a 3 second time penalty. Cutting that chicane. You can see the tyre difference from old hards to fresh mediums. You can just see them reeling him in. We'll just have to see if he can hold him out to the end of the race. Oliver sets the fastest lap of the race again. You can see Rady is not really good at saving his ERS. He's on 8% ERS. As Owen has been looking for a move here on Rady into turn 1. He lags through him. Losing some time there. As his pack just is chasing down Brad, who was leading this race. You can see the pace difference between the softs and the mediums. Owen just has a lot more pace compared to Rady. Who's actually going to make a move going into turn 1. He gets past him before the breaking point. Rady is trying to go back, dive down the inside, but he's a bit too far back. And now he's under threat from Oliver. And the Ferrari. I'm just wondering, is Rady running manual ERS? Because he hasn't changed off medium for a while, and he's not trying to save it either. Merrill gets a 3-second time penalty. .3 seconds separate Owen and Brad. We'll just have to wait and see if Brad can keep them behind. We got 7 laps to go of this race. You can see them just off in the distance. He's not pushing either, he's just conserving his tyres, doing what he needs to do. I was ready to try and have a look here on Owen into turn 1. Tries to brake a bit later. Owen gets very late on the brakes. Helps him up beautifully to get past, or to stay ahead of him actually. Oliver is harassing Rady as well, because that will be the final podium place, unless this whole field can come up to Brad and overtake him. So Oliver does have the most ERS out of the top three, from position 2 to position 4. So Rady will have DRS on Owen down this back straight. I think he might be running manual ERS. As Rady's under threat here from Oliver into turn 1. So we'll just be looking at this battle group here. Rady gets another 3-second time penalty. He's definitely got more than one this whole race. Oh, I've been on my phone and I've actually seen, oh, Oliver's gone past Rady. My bad for not paying attention. So Oliver is 1.1. Oh! As Rady is getting compromised from a back marker. I don't know why he's trying to overtake. Because he's just going to need to let him back through again. And he's missing his front wing. And he pulls into the pits. That is so unfortunate for Rady. He was having such a good race. But he's going to fall down. He's going to go for fastest lap. All the way down to P6, P7. But we'll have to wait and see if Oliver can upset this Williams 1-2 at the moment. Owen gets a 3-second time penalty. So Brad's still holding on here with 3 laps to go. So 2 laps to go here now. Brad has a 2.1 second gap to Owen. Will we see Brad take out the race win? Ooh. As Ludwig gets a 3-second time penalty. So Oliver is just out of DRS, front to Owen. So those softs might be falling off a bit now. They will be falling off a bit now. One lap to go, or 2 laps to go actually. Rady gets a 3-second. And he sets the fastest lap of the race. So good job there to Rady. At least he gets something out of this weekend. Because a podium and a race win was definitely in the picture for him. It's just unfortunate the circumstances that happened to him. But Oliver is 8 tenths of a second now behind Owen. Will we see a last lap move for P2 He's going to have DRS. .9 seconds separate from the two Williams drivers. Mark, it's a 3-second time penalty. Oh no, Oliver's going to get compromised here from the Red Bull of Matthew. Lets him past. Rady takes another fastest lap of the race. March hits a 3-second. This time penalty is coming everywhere as we speak. But I don't think it'll be enough here for Oliver. Oh, will we see an overtake? No, we won't. I don't think so. No. So, Brad comes across, he's crossed the line. So, Brad has won the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a Williams 1-2 finish with Owen Bennett right behind him, 1.7 seconds. And Oliver 3.1 with that time penalty behind Owen. So that is your race win. So that bold strategy definitely, or that bold strategy helped Brad. It actually won on the race, so I'll invite these guys to the party. There we go, that one. There we go. We'll just have to wait and see if they will join the party. Owen, P2 in the race. Williams 1-2 for you guys. You had a pretty good battle there with Oliver and the Red Bull of Rady as well. Just trying to catch Brad for the lead of the race coming towards the end. But yeah, must have been a very, very good result for the Williams guys and yourself.
Yeah, it was a really good result. We decided to split strategies because we knew if one of us went on the one stop and the other went on a two stop, we would cover everyone off. And yeah, I had the feeling that Ruddy and
Yeah, so that was a very outstanding performance there from you two guys. We'll go on to Brad, the race winner. Brad, I'd say a pretty bold strategy from you, going on the hards on lap 9, but you managed to pull them out to bring them to the end and a first race win of the season.
Yeah, the whole last lap was just focusing on not getting no penalties. It was one warning away from getting another penalty and ruining the race win, but the hards were feeling nice throughout. They're consistent. They do consistent 113, so I knew they would make the end.
Yeah, so that result will definitely boost you a pretty good boost for the constructors standings after that race.
Yeah, Albert missing the race will catch me right up, and Robin missed his setup, so he wasn't really in there.
So big congratulations to you two Williams drivers. We'll have to wait and see if you can do that next weekend for France. But anyway, good race. We'll move on to Oliver. Can you hear me, mate? So P3, the race today. You're trying to, or you nearly got, or nearly overtook Owen on the last few laps, or was going to try and overtake him on the last few laps. With those memes coming into play on the last couple of laps. But yeah, you having a battle with Rady or the Red Bull and Owen basically throughout the whole entire race. Must have been a good podium for you, but what could have been a bit more. But yeah.
No, I'm happy with P3 actually. Like, I didn't think I could even get on the podium today, and with Albert like not even racing, I think there was a big chance of me actually getting on the podium. I don't know what happened to the Red Bull because he was miles ahead at the start, but after the second stop, I was right behind him and thought I could get the podium. Checked his penalties, and I obviously had a little incident with Owen, I think it was, and placed me on the podium, and I'm happy with that actually.
Yeah, so that is your back-to-back podium, getting a podium in Monaco and Canada. So congrats to you. You're showing a good amount of form for these last few races. So hopefully you can manage that consistency. And yeah, we'll see you next weekend for France, hopefully. So that will conclude our broadcast of the Canadian Grand Prix for the F2 category. Both Williams drivers bringing out a 1-2 finish for the team. We'll catch you next weekend for France. Well, I might have a commentator buddy, I might, don't know. But Josh Banks from the commentary box, signing out from Canada.